Welcome to the No Limit Selling Podcast, where industry leaders share their advice on how you can become better, stronger, faster. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the No Limit Selling Podcast. And today we have Jody Hudson here with us today. She's with KSEE. And KSEE, tell us what KSEE is, Jody.
So KSEE is court-appointed special advocates, and we raise funds for all of our 44 local KSEE programs, as well as the state umbrella arm, which I work for, California KSEE. And we support foster youth. And in California, that's over 80,000 children that are in foster care. So we work with our local programs to really help, blend the foster youth with mentors, with KSEEs that can really make an impact in these children's lives.
And so, these children need advocates, and often these people are lawyers.
Oh, the advocates? No, they're
Yeah.
people. You have to go through a very extensive training, about 40 to 60 hours of training. You get sworn in by a judge in court, and then you are able to volunteer with these children. So it's a volunteer position. It's not a paid position, but it really is quite an impactful volunteer position for anyone that's really looking to make a difference in a child's life.
Absolutely. And I had the privilege to work with the KSEE folks in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, wonderful.
And it was a privilege to help. So you're in charge of going out there and gathering funds. So it's a form of sales where you need to go in and you need to be an advocate and convince people that this is a worthy cause. So was this something you were doing in the past, or is this a new endeavor, going in and fundraising?
No, so my background, my career background is in retail sales. So I did that for many years until I had children. I stayed at home as a stay-at-home mom for about 5 years. And then in 2007, I was in the workforce and involved with the nonprofit world. I worked at Catholic Charities for about 13 years, Girl Scouts for a couple of years, and now with California KSEE. So this is all very, near and dear to my heart. I love the philanthropy world. I love being able to connect donors with things that are important to them, things that they want to invest their dollar in, which ultimately helps support the nonprofits and helps support our communities.
So tell me about, you don't have to name names, but perhaps a high net worth person or a couple that you thought might be the ideal folks, how you found them and how you met with them and how you convinced them to, support this worthy cause. Like, what's that process like?
Well, really what that process is all about is relationship building. It is, being able to connect with people in your community that really want to help better your community. So it's, making that initial phone call. It is inviting them for a coffee, for a lunch, some sort of, small networking, just to even get a feel if it's something that they are interested in giving to. And maybe it's not, asking them for that, donation right off the bat. Maybe it's just making sure that they understand what the mission is, what the cause is of that organization. And then maybe inviting them to an event where they get to really see the impact, where the donor dollars are going to, kind of, setting the table, so to speak, for the entree later on. So it's all part of a very strategic, but it also has to be very natural process of just getting to know the donors, getting to know where they want to make those investments, and hopefully it's an investment in your direction.
I was working with this woman that was wooing high net worth individuals, and it was no problem for her to go visit their yacht and with passion, promote what she was doing because it was a really worthy cause. And if they said no, she could handle the objection and move forward. But if they said yes, but not now, in 2 months, or they made a commitment, I will support this cause, she found it really difficult to call them up again because there was something, a mindset kind of issue. Like if they said no in front of her, she could actually handle the objections, move forward. But if they said yes, we're going to send a check on Monday, internally, she had a mental block to follow up and say, hey, where's the check? So do you find that your sales abilities have changed when you went from retail to this? Because it's a different level of sales and a different kind of sales.
Oh, absolutely. With retail sales, it's a specific item. It's definitely a smaller, dollar amount. You still are building those relationships and cultivating that relationship by making sure that you are remembering your client, your customer on special events, special occasions, that sort of thing. But when you move into the philanthropy world, it really is more of a strategic process, and making sure that you are moving the donor along at the right time, at the right pace, and that it's very organic. It doesn't feel rushed. And I always tell people, never worry about the no's if someone says no, because it's no for today, but that doesn't mean it's going to be no forever. We don't always
Right.
know what's going on in people's lives. We don't always know, and they don't always divulge, what's going on in their lives. So I never take it personally, and really one shouldn't take things like that personally. It's just no for the moment. So I never have a problem, that I'm still keeping in touch with them. And I've had many donors come back and, tell me that later, that it was nice that I didn't, pressure them after that. No. And I still kept in touch with them. It wasn't like, okay, well, gosh, cross them off my list. I'm going to go on to, the next person here. When you make those relationships, you want to continue those relationships, regardless if you have that yes or no right off the bat. And I've had a lot of, great donations come down the road, quite unexpectedly sometimes. So you just never know when that donation is going to hit. And if you do your homework right through donor data processes and software, you kind of know where people's wealth resources are, and people that do have the capability to give. But as I say that, I always want to make sure to remind people that, you hear of those stories of these people that you didn't think really had many means. They were living quite modestly. They pass away and they leave millions of dollars to, an
Mm.
organization. So, don't judge a book by its cover, because you really, don't know. Maybe that's why they have so much money, because they've been living so modestly, right? And they're saving it for a wonderful organization.
I've done some work with the Boy Scouts of America, and oftentimes you hear a story of somebody passing away and leaving $1 million or more to the Boy Scouts. And when they find out why, it was when they were kids that the Boy Scouts really saved them. And they've always
Mhm.
remembered, and they may not have been a donor for their entire lives, but when they part ways with planet Earth, they leave a very generous donation there because how much it meant. Do you have any donors that were helped by the CASA program?
Do I have any? Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of, stories of, donors giving back because it was something that, has really touched them. It's a personal connection that they have. In fact, one of the reasons why I came to California CASA is my own personal connection. I was born to a single mother, and
Mm.
she put me up into foster care. Back in 1960, back in Michigan, I was in a foster home for several months, and then I was adopted later on. But so that definitely, fuels my passion to want to make sure that I'm, getting out and helping to support the foster youth and making that connection with donors to our mission. So many times, donors do give because it is a personal, you know, mission of theirs. It resonates with them.
So some of your donors are going to be evangelists, that they commit to this and then they also go out and help bring other people to support it. Is there any early warning signs that this person could be an evangelist for us?
I'm not sure I understand that question. Say that again.
So sometimes you get people that are donors that, are happy to give, and it's like, here's some money, have a nice day. And there's other donors that basically become evangelists, that basically go out and get other donors and volunteer and really commit to the program. Is there any way to figure out or any formula for finding those evangelists?
Well, I think that's all through marketing, advertising, just reaching out in the community, seeing what taps into people's heartstrings.
Mm,
There's so many good causes out there. I think you have to really make sure that you are setting yourself apart from others and really having resonating messaging that speaks on behalf of your mission. We currently
oh,
are running some great advertising and commercials on PBS right now, and we've gotten several donors giving to us just because they saw a 30-second clip and it just really gave them goosebumps of a child, basically with a garbage bag full of clothes, just going from, home to home, trying to find that forever home. And when
right.
people, think about, we all could be in that situation. I think that's when, people really respond, whether it's, volunteering their time or, giving of their treasure. There's many ways you can respond to causes.
Absolutely. So, what's the biggest hurdle right now as the economic climate is changing? What are some of the hurdles you guys are facing, and how are you guys handling those?
Well, I think the pandemic definitely, put a spin on a lot of things. I have a separate side foundation, the Alex Hudson Lyme Foundation, and that's in support of my daughter who passed away from Lyme disease in March of 2018. And I was just ramping up, just started that in 2018, got in 2 years of fundraising, doing very well. And then everything came to a crash because, we couldn't meet in person, you couldn't do events. So for a lot of the grassroots organizations, a lot of those have had to really regroup and think about how to start fundraising again. For the larger organizations, I think a lot of them were okay because there was a lot of pandemic relief that came down the
Mhm.
line from funders, but now that's all dried up. So again, it's getting back to, the mission moments and really making sure that you're doing a good job of going out there, within the communities or within the messaging, hopping on Zoom calls, whatever, to really try and connect and find those donors that resonate with your mission. But funding is getting a lot harder. There's a lot of DEI involved. I know I write grants as well as fundraise,
Mm,
and I've a lot of the grant language change with our funders and with other foundations. A lot of the foundations are changing their scope of work. They're changing who they are going to be helping. A lot of it was, economic recovery, post-pandemic recovery, and
right.
it was a little bit harder to find things that were specific for, foster youth. But then I find that there's a lot of good funding out there with mental health because, our children suffered greatly during the pandemic. And you're seeing that now with the rise in suicide and a lot of mental health behaviors. So it kind of, philanthropy, fundraising, all of that goes hand in hand with the current state of our economy, the current state of our communities. So you have to really be mindful of the pulse of what's going on, both locally, statewide, and nationally.
Absolutely. So, how can people help California CASA fulfill their mission?
They can check us out on our website. It's www.californiacasa.org. I encourage, anyone that's listening to this to check out our website. You'll see the stellar leadership that we have in place. You'll see how we help support our 44, CASA programs throughout the state of California. We are the resources for these programs. We help, to give them stability. We help to provide them with philanthropy resources, HR training, legislative advocacy. We do so much to really strengthen that core of the CASA mission. So I encourage anybody that's listening to hop on, check out the website. They can call me, they can email me directly. This, like I said earlier, this is a cause that's near and dear to my heart. And there's over 80,000 children in foster care right now that really could use that one person. The CASA model is so important, and it does so much for children, because all these children need is just that one person, that one individual to say, I believe in you, I see you, I want to help you, and don't give up, because I'm here to support you.
Words to live by. And I had read something recently where the two main things kids need to hear is you are safe and you are loved.
Yes. A lot of these children don't have that safe haven. So many of these children don't know where they're going to be sleeping at night. So many of these children get, yanked out in the middle of the night because mom and dad are, having a fight. Drugs, alcohol, all that plays, an important part of their environment. And just imagine how scared they feel. And, it triggers a lot of trauma. So just to be able to know that they are, safe and that they are loved, it means a lot for a child.
I was doing some work for an organization in Philadelphia, and they had 2,000 kids that were high school kids that were homeless, which is pretty staggering. And this organization was helping them make sure they stay in high school and get the education they need. And that's what all of us need to do, is to reach out a hand and help the next generation kind of move up.
Absolutely.
Jody, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank
Any
you
last
so
words
much.
you want to share?
No, you know what? That's really important what you said. I think it's up to each one of us to make sure that as we continue to move forward with our careers, that we look back and pull up the next generation and lend that extended hand.
And anybody that didn't get help in their life, put down your hand. Many times people have gone out of their way to help me, and that's the way we make this world a better place. Thanks so much. And let's do the outro, then we'll chat for a moment.
Okay, thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode, please go to iTunes and leave a 5-star rating. And if you're looking for more tools, go to my website at nolimitselling.com. I've got a free mind training course there that's going to teach you some insights from the world of neuro-linguistic programming, and that is the fastest way to get better results.